I really hope this was not a mistake. I have purchased a lot of world coins here in flips. This is a dealer I've bought from 4 or 5 times before in the past. It is a dealer that I've seen in the Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia area that goes by the name of White Tiger, and they specialize in foreign coins. In the past, I have bought bags of 50 coins for $10, all of them carded. They didn't have those this time. Instead, they had 100 coins for $20. So, in other words, they're doubling the size of the bag and they're doubling the cost of the bag. They must have bought out some entire large purchase of collection or something, and that they had to move them. They offered you could buy 9 and get 1 free. I didn't really want to spend $180 on these. Uh, the the further I go back on these, the better they were, and each successive time they got a little bit worse. The last time, there were a lot of cleaned, low-value Japanese coins in every bag, and I didn't want any more of that, so I'm hoping that we have a much better variety in this lot. And so I haven't gone through this yet, so we're going to be surprised together. Obviously, I can see some stuff on the outside. I don't see anything high dollar on the outside, but let's clear some of these bags out of the way, and then we're going to get started. And we'll zoom in here, and we're just going to start pulling stuff out of here and hope we get our money's worth. So this does come to 20 cents each, and so if I have to offload them, that could be doable. The real trick is I want something new to my collection, but if I can get something that is makes for a good trade piece, then that's certainly always worth it. And I think this first one is off to a good start. Now, a lot of them times they will have a price written on here. Sometimes they're spot on, and sometimes they're a little bit inflated, but we're starting off with an Australian 50-cent piece, and that can be pretty good. It is the standard design on here with the emu and kangaroo, but I like that coin. I'm not sure that it's worth $4. I'm not going to know while I'm doing this video if there's a key date or anything like that, but I'd still say that's a good start. Also want to make sure this video doesn't go too long, so maybe I should pick up the speed on here. This one's not really worth it. We've got an Australian 1974 10 cents. They still say it's $2. That seems like an overpay to me. We've got an older Swiss coin, 1882. They say 70 cents. It's very well worn, but based on the age, B burn mint mark, that they did, 1882. So that might be worth it. I see that someone had once written 75 cents on there, so lost a little bit of value. But we've got a Norway 10 ore coin on here from 1954, $1.50. Not sure on that price either. Sometimes I've said that and I've been wrong, that they were actually the price they wrote on here. Let's see, we've got a tin wrapping from Switzerland, 1909. I just looked up one of these in a recent video, and that $2 is going to be right on there. So that's a good trace piece. I see a 5 wrapping here in the front, so let's pull that out. 1938. That looks pretty good. They say it's $1. At one point, someone wanted $1.50 for it. Extra fine. Okay. Yeah, that seems to be a reasonable price. Pull this copper 2-cent coin out of here. And I'm not going $1 on that one, I don't think. That one might be clean. I'm not really happy with that one. Hope we don't get too many Swiss coins on here. They have some pretty good value, but you don't need too many of them. 1943, tin wrapping, they say it's worth 50 cents. That seems reasonable. Let's go on to an Australian platypus. One problem I've had with this dealer is oftentimes we'll get too many coins of the same country over and over, and it seems like we're getting a lot of Australia and Switzerland early on. Is that one really worth $5? 1973. Doesn't say anything about a variety on there or anything like that. I would have never guessed $5 on that one. We're moving on to Cuba. So we've got an un centavo from 1966. Back when it was made out of aluminum, KM 33.1. So this is a little bit of a rarer find. It's almost easier to find some of the early 1900 coins from Cuba. So here is a half penny that looks clean from 1951. I'm not going $2 on that one because it's cleaned. Another British coin, we've got 1965, 30 cents for a 3 pence. Nickel brass, that's probably about right. Bigger coin right here. We've got a 5 kroner with Queen Margaret II. 1975, got the Mint Masters initials of S and B, so 863.1. That was pretty decent. You don't see these very often. 1975. Now I wish they had a price on this one. It'd be probably worth $1 or $2. So that could be a good pickup. Another 5 Rapin. They want $1.50 for something that dates back to 1952. The 5, the 10s, and the 20s never had silver in them, I don't believe. At least not this side of 1900. Here's something a little bit older. Now, I really don't like the way that they put this in here with just one staple. But this is my favorite find so far. So it's from Zanzibar. And I looked this up recently. I have trouble remembering where Zanzibar even is. I do have this coin, but when I bought it, I paid $7 for it. A long time ago, someone thought this was 50 cents. I don't know if it was this exact coin, but I know I have one coin from Zanzibar and it had these scales on it, and it wasn't even this nice. So this one's probably an upgrade in my collection. Date of 1882. Looks like they say 1299 on the Arabic calendar. So yeah, that is about 1882 on there. That's the best coin on here so far, and that one easily worth $5 or more because I've paid that much for it. Got a 1930 half penny, $2. George V. Got the Australian half penny for $1. Kangaroo, 1947. A little bit of corrosion on that one. Here we've got something pretty old, Victorian era, 1875, but boy, is that one well worn. They still say it's $4. I don't know that people would pay $4 for 1875 unless the heat and mint makes it really rare, but I'm saying no to $4 on that one unless it's just a key date. I paid less for older ones of that. Now, I will say that with this particular dealer, I did get a very slick coin, almost good condition. So in other words, pretty close to poor condition of a William and Mary half penny about a year ago. So you can find some real strange things in here. I don't need any more of these. Although I'll say it's the newer design here. What used to be in here that was $10 that had silver in it? Definitely not this. But 40 cents, okay, yeah. Italian 50 pence, smaller design, worth 50 pence, if 50 cents in U.S. money. That's about right. Older 5 Rapin, $1, 1912, okay. Get too many of those. This looks like a clean penny from before they had the kangaroo on it, 1932. $26, no, not if it's cleaned. But I must say the details are probably better than the coin that's sitting in my collection. I would have to think long and hard about switching that one out. I would not pay $26 for a clean coin like that, but that one could have some pretty good value if it wasn't cleaned. What do we have from Britain here? We've got a 6 pence, $3. I'm going to doubt the price on that one. Here's 159, 75 cents. Maybe that's about right. Australian, the echidna, 5-cent coin, $3? That can't be right. Funny how I'm saying some of these prices are spot on and some of these are way off. Yeah, next from Norway, 5 ore, worth 40 cents, probably. Another 6 pence, another $3. No. Cleaned 2 ore from Sweden, but pretty good details for the age. Possible I might not even have that coin. I'll have to double check, of course. We've got the 1 ore from Norway from 1962, from a time where they all had animals on them. I believe it was Olav V. Ooh, what is this? Play money. Okay, that's not really fair unless this has some legit history to it. Play money? No, I'm not going to like that. So this is in the last time I bought from this dealer, there were a lot of these that were cleaned. At least it's not cleaned, so there's that, but I still have too many of those. The cleaned farthing, 1916. They say it's $1. It would have been if it wasn't cleaned, I think. Another tin wrapping. They say 1962 is only worth 40 cents. Let's see, what do we have from Israel here? A low denomination coin that's not even labeled. Someone wants to reuse flips here because they put whiteout on them. So that's not going to have a lot of value to that. British farthing, worth 45 cents. Yeah, I like that one. That one can stay. So here's a Swiss one wrapping that had a different design to it. The B mint mark. 1953. Extra fine. Yeah, I can go $3 on that one. That actually seems reasonable to me. Australia 5 cents, $4. No. Another echidna. I'm calling foul on that price. Got another British 5 pence. Nickel plated steel version of this coin from 2015. Then from the same series that had the squirrel earlier, we've got this one with like a yellow jacket or a bee or something like that. 10 ore 1971. Olav V. They say it's worth 50 cents. Another British 6 pence. This one is worth 20 cents. They say. Another Swiss 5 wrapping worth $1 because it's from 1911. That one's scratched up like it's cleaned, so too many clean coins. And I've got another 4 bags of this. Here's that's in good shape, but not a very desirable coin, I don't think. 10 ore from Sweden. Gustav the Sixth. They say it's worth 50 cents, probably because of the condition. Back to Australia, back to a well, I don't know if that's cleaned or not. It's got some weird spots on it. They say it's worth $1.50. But we're back to the kangaroo penny, 1947. Well, I could say that's definitely cleaned. But here's something that at least is not common. So British-controlled India with Queen Victoria on it, or as they call her, Empress Victoria. A quarter anna that they call $1, 1897. $1891. Okay. Well, at least you don't see that every day. We have another platypus 20 cents that they say is worth $4, and I disagree. From Mexico, we've got the 5 pesos that they say is worth 35 cents. We've got next one of these that they say is worth 45 cents. Definitely don't want any more of these Japanese 1 yen. I got too many of these the last go around with these people. I will give them credit that they went through the trouble of giving us a date on it, year 40, which would be 1965. So it is an older version of the 1 yen, and I see another one in here that's 1966 that they give a $1 year 41 on that one. So it's at least it's an older date. Just made a video about this one, the iron. This was German-controlled Norway, and they made it out of iron instead of bronze because they used the metal for the war effort. These iron coins always have a lot of rust on them. This one doesn't have as good details, but it doesn't have as much rust as I usually find it. So this would have been during the days of Haakon the Seventh, but not. He was in exile when German was in control. So I just recently purchased that coin on its own. We've got another of those that they say is worth 30 cents. Another British 3 pence, worth $1. Wouldn't rule out cleaning on that one. That is a problem with these. Shilling is not going to be silver by 1948. They say it's $1.80. Maybe if it was good. What do we have here? Probably shouldn't be using the small flips for these the coins about this size, but we've got a 10 pesos, 10 pesos from 1981. Say it's worth 50 cents. Should not be in the smaller flip, for sure. From Sweden, we've got this 1 ore. Sweden has the 3 crowns on it. Doesn't say Sweden on here anywhere on the coin itself, but I recognize the 3 crowns. Yeah, I'd say that one's probably worth $1. I believe that's the 3rd one of these. Don't need any more. Got another 5 pence from Britain with the older small design. From Mexico, we've got the 1 peso. I've got plenty of those, so I don't need any more. Here's a 2 ore from the time where they etched into the coin a little bit, dated 1953, with Gustav Adolf VI of Sweden. 90 cents on that one seems reasonable. I think I saw another one of those up front. Yeah, we had this the same series. We've got the 1 ore from 1962, so it's going to be worth less. 50 cents on that one. And then we've got this 1 ore from 1941. So this one's been cleaned, but or at least it looks like they've tried to get it turned black, and they try to clean it off a little bit. So I don't like that, but we can go back to that iron coin that we had a moment ago. This is what it looked like before Germany took them over with the Haakon the Seventh monogram on this side. And then we've got another 10 ore with the yellow jacket. Here's one in the yellow flip. What do we have here? Well, at one point someone thought this was worth 15 cents. This is a 1 marka, an older coin from Finland. And 30. Now they say it's worth $1.25. This one's pretty nice, I would say, even though it's fine condition. But Look at that old school. Someone probably had a hand stamp for this. So I think that's pretty cool that someone organized their collection like that. Yeah, I like that one. that one's fun to pick up. Here we have a German 200 mark. So these are aluminum coins, but you don't see them all that often. Scratched in a way that I think is very appealing on here, but at least you don't see it very often. So in a lot like this, I'll take that one. Here's another reused flip where the coin's about to fall out, and that flip is too small for this coin. Hard to judge it because it was square shaped, but and India 2 annas from 1944, so still British controlled at this point. They call it the small 4 variety. I might have to double check that in the catalog, but well, come to think of it, that 9 is really large and the 4 is pretty small next to it. So we'll have to take a look to see if that's a valuable variety. Well, they call it $1.20, so it can't be that valuable. Moving on to another 6-pence. This one has an unusual shine to it that doesn't look natural. But that one has a pretty good eye appeal. My mother-in-law would love that one. So that one might be staying in the family. Got another cleaned farthing. This one dates to 1934. George V. And then is this another British coin, another British shilling, 1948. I think that was the same year as the last one. That one almost looks cleaned with the scratches on it. They said $2 here. And then another cleaned one with the Victoria Empress on it. So that is rough shape. Cleaned and good condition at the same time. But it's a coin that I don't see hardly ever. So wouldn't it be something if that ends up going in my collection because I didn't have it? It would be like a filler piece, but oh well, we've got another 6-pence on here. So this would be nice, again, if it wasn't cleaned, but this one got very corroded at one point, and they cleaned it, and they didn't even get the corrosion off of it. So the cleaning was poorly done, but it's from Newfoundland, which, if you're not familiar with that, it eventually became part of Canada. It is a province of Canada today, but up until the 40s, they made coins of their own. So that would be a lot nicer, again, if it wasn't poorly cleaned. We've got another of these. This one has what was the date on this one? 1949. So this one was following World War II. Haakon VII was back on the throne. $2 seems reasonable on that one. Then we've got something from Hungary. 1895. I'd call this a pretty good pickup, and the condition of that one, $2 seems like a pretty good price on that one. And here I am wondering if I have the two. I pick up the one fairly often, but it's got the KB mint mark on it. So rolling along with a low-value Mexican Cinco Centavos. But at least that one looks nice. Someone thought that was worth 15 cents at one point. I have enough of those that I would not pay that, but only because I have enough. We've got another very cleaned halfpenny at 1929. George V. Not even going to look what they say that one was worth. And then another platypus. So this time they've at least added the note, first year of the decimal system in Australia of 1966. It's the young bust, so at $4, that makes this the oldest version of this coin. What price was scratched out on here? $30. Huh, okay. I'm not buying that, no. I'm not even sure I'm buying $4, but $30? What are they doing? So I think we saw one of these earlier where it was cleaned but also better details than anything I had in the past. They wrote face scratch. I think that's what they say, face scratch. Yeah, because it's been cleaned. Like you're not going to notice that? But otherwise, shame that it has good details, and $3 probably would have been a pretty good price if they didn't clean it. What do I have going on here? I don't know. It's cleaned. I don't need to think about it too long. Moving on to our next British penny. This one is, they say it's worth $1 from 1939. And then these are really boring, the 2 new pence from 1976. 15 cents. Yeah, you don't want those showing up on a $20 bag. We've got a 3 pence worth 50 cents, but I don't like the details on that one. So at least not clean, but well worn, 1920. George V. Half a penny. And then, okay, this is different. From Sweden, we have Karl the 15th. Now, they say this is worth $10. Obviously in rough shape. Probably still cleaned. But this is something that... This would be the oldest coin in the video, at least so far. And usually with copper coins from this old, you're not going to see any details on it. So I would not pay $10 for it, but I would pay a couple of dollars for this one. KM707, 5 ore. I'll call it one of the better coins out of here. Another 6 pence, another, they say it's $1. We had the 1 and the 2 earlier. Here is the 5 ore. I think this is the largest of this time, of this design. So 1954. They say it's worth $2. That seems, okay, maybe that's somewhere in the ballpark. And then we have a zinc. Where is... Well, I had said we had coins out of iron earlier, but that has a zinc look to it on this 50 ore. This one is probably not... I probably haven't come across this too often. They say that one's worth $4, and that's pretty reasonable, I'd say. Just, yeah, these metals just did not hold up over time. So that's a better coin out of here, I think. We've got the 2 wrapping from Switzerland. So again, this is a coin you don't see as very often. It's not as nice shape as the 1. And so for that, they're only saying it's worth 45 cents. But yeah, I think they discontinued that one way early. Here's a 3 pence they call an AU condition that still has some of the shine to it. Now, unfortunately, it has some spots to go with it, so we're not getting anything perfect from them. But $2 on that, that side looks better. Again, this is someone that used to flip and they wanted to save the 3 cents that a flip costs by removing the staples and putting something else in its place, which I think that's kind of tacky. But, oh well. Got another 6 pence, but at least this is the older George VI version, and someone wanted 25 cents for that one at one point, but they say it's now worth $1. Okay. Back to another copper one orb. This one has an older date to it. Trying to read that one. I think that says 1925. Awfully dirty, though. Yeah, they're saying 1925. What are they saying that's worth? $1.75. I would have expected more, but it was pretty gross shape. Here's a good one. Western African states. 1960 aluminum bronze. Let's look at the gazelle or whatever animal that is on here, and then 5 francs. So this was a collection of countries that at one time were ruled by the French in West Africa. Someone was trying to sell this for 70 cents. I don't believe, at one time this was an area that was French controlled, so it was called French West Africa, but by this point I guess French was no longer ruling them. They kept the gazelle look on this side, but they got rid of the French design on the other side. So this would include modern countries like Ivory Coast, Gabon, Upper Volta, Mauritius, and parts of Togo, I think. And I didn't have that memorized. I just made a video earlier today of some of those countries, so I had it on my mind. We've got another of these Victorian British-controlled India, quarter India. Again, it's well worn, and again, it's cleaned, so that's kind of a shame. But it looked better than the last one. We've got this British 50 centavos, 50 centavos. I've got well more than I need of those. Hold on, they say this is the round 9 variety. Right there, so could be a variety worth checking out. Wouldn't have much value if they say it's worth 80 cents, but it's something to look up. Got another 5 Rapid from 1926. Better condition except for the corrosion on that one. So someone wanted 75 cents for that. Here's our second 5 ore. This one's not quite as nice as the first one. They still think it was worth $1.50, and then they scratched that out and said it was worth $1. I think the previous one they said was worth $2 because it was better condition. Moving on to, is this a 10 pence? Yep. Nickel-plated steel. So a different metal than an older version of this coin. So this one dates to 2013, so a little over a decade ago. By now those are easy enough to find. We've got another tin Rapid. This one's newer, 1961. But great condition, at least, on that one. Back to Australia with the 2 cents. $1.80, they say. All their Australian coins seem to be overvalued, I think. Moving on to another cleaned farthing, 1933. I'll give them credit, that one looks pretty. Okay, another cleaned Australian penny, 1916. $1.50 on that one. Still left some corrosion on the letters. And another 3 pence. For $1. So we've had a few of those here. A low-value modern Mexico coin. I think this one's since been replaced with something even smaller. Another Australian halfpenny from 1913. So these are good years. On other side, I was actually wondering if this one was going to be obviously cleaned. This side is obviously cleaned. The other side had me thinking for a moment that this one could be finally a legit coin, but nope. Wish they didn't do that. Okay, here's something else that near the end that is pretty good. We've got a porpoise on this too. Now it's got this weird color that when I put it in the light, it almost turns blue. So that is not natural. If I hold it like this, it's not as obvious, but we've got Denmark 1881. Christian the Ninth, KM 793.1. So in a lot like this is one of the better things. Again, I don't know if it's worth $15, but I probably didn't have it. But it's possible that I had it, but I recognize this side, but I could have had it from, let's say, a 1 ore. That's one of the better things we found in here. And then we've got one more very clean penny from Australia, 1934, which could have been worth $12 if it hadn't been cleaned. At least this one was cleaned evenly. I'll give them credit for that. Nope, they left the tarnish over on that side. I spoke too soon. And we're going to finish with another one of these that is, at least we're finishing with the coin that was in better shape, except for that one spot on the left, but $1.20 on that one. All right, so what do you think? I put all those coins in here. I paid $20 for all that. Was it worth it? I had enough money where I could have bought 10 for $180, but which was, I paid $100 for 5 of these bags, and I've got 4 more videos to make, but I'm going to spend this year wondering if I can get my money out of these. Some of these were certainly worth it. I really like the Tanzania coin. The Zanzibar coin. That one's probably my favorite, just knowing how much I personally paid for that one to put it in my collection. But I'll say that if it was like last time where they had half of it being coins from Japan, that would have been rough. But while we saw a lot of coins from Britain and Australia and Switzerland, at least it wasn't all from the same country, and they mixed it up a little bit with a lot of other wild cards that were thrown in. So it's glad that I bought it. We'll see if I say the same thing after I go through 5 bags of these, but there you go. And I've got another video like this coming out in another few weeks. I'm gonna wait a while before I post the next video. I don't like to post all these in a row, but I'll probably record it pretty soon. But there you go. This one was probably my second favorite coin right here. This one from Sweden, which I probably didn't even have that one. Again, I wish they had done better than putting 2 staples in it and reusing the flip, but there you have it. Okay, I'll catch you next time. Bye.